Today I'm going to go over a strategy that is underrated to get leads from X and LinkedIn. So you can see here, we've got 5 different parts that we're going to cover. First is why you should listen to me, and then we'll get into content, warm outreach, the combination. That's really the underrated strategy, is the combo. And then follow-ups. This is if you want to get more B2B leads from X and LinkedIn. So let's get started. And I'll remove these as we go. So first off, why should you listen to me? So we just crossed $8 million in client sales. Take that for what you will. It could be good, could be bad. There's definitely people who've done more and people who've done less than that. And the great news is because we're moving up market a little bit, this number is very rapidly expanding because we have a couple clients that they have 7-figure lifetime values for their clients. So we get one sell and suddenly it goes from 8 to 9 million or 9 to 10. And so I can see this growing really quickly. Second, we've worked with over 40 B2B clients. So we've worked with people across industries and have seen a lot of success with different clients. It's not just a one-time thing. Third, this is what I've personally used to build my business. It's what I find to be effective, and I practice what I preach. And then lastly, I paid $50,000 plus in consulting, courses in consulting to learn these lessons that I'm now sharing with you. Cool. Let's move on. Content. So, if you want to write content that gets leads, there's a lot of important pieces. We're going to go over 10 of them. So first off, your category. So if you are in the category of, let's say, finance, what is it that's going to make you different? If you're a fractional CFO, then if you're the first fractional CFO on a platform, sure, that you can own that category. And you get all of the leads who are coming to that if there's demand. But let's say that there's not, then maybe you can just narrow down what you focus on. So it's a fractional CFO for plumbing companies. The goal is you want to be the go-to person. You want to be the only person for a specific category. And so usually the best way to do that is you just niche down further and own a subcategory. You can also just use different languaging. So for example, what I do, a lot of people call ghostwriting, and I call it co-writing. And I want to differentiate myself from other ghostwriters and say, we're not just going to write random stuff like on behalf of you and on your account. Instead, we're going to be your co-writers. We're basically your content partners, and we will ask you questions. We'll interview you. We'll look at all of your past interviews that you've done, YouTube videos, past posts that you've written on Twitter and LinkedIn, and we'll use that to create your content. We're your co-authors. We're not just going to make stuff up for you. So if you can define your subcategory and own it, that is just massively helpful for getting leads. Second, branding. So this is a hairy word, and Alex Hormozi simplified this a lot for me. So it's basically, what do you want to associate with and what do you not want to associate with? That's what it is, because branding is just an association. It's just a pairing. So if you associate with the things that clients like, that your clients like, then they'll start to like you. And if you associate with things they don't, then you move away from what they like. And so really easy way to do this is you just go through this exercise and you ask, what do you want to associate with? Who do you want to associate with? What do you not want to associate with? And who do you not want to associate with? So you can see from my example, I want to associate with getting people a return on investment, with providing value, with the word co-writing, with free work, because I'm a big believer in free work, with consistency, reputation first, long-term gains with long-term people. And so these are phrases and things that I want to talk about and intermix with all of the content I write. And the people, if I talk about these folks or engage with these people, like these are the people I'll go to first. And if I'm writing a piece about somebody, it'll probably be about one of these people because I like what they've done with their brand and I want to be associated with them. All right, let's move on. Your profile. So if you're with 1 billion people on Twitter, LinkedIn, you got to be clear about who you serve and what you do. Otherwise, why are people going to follow you? So put in your bio and in your profile who you serve, how you serve them, why you're credible, and why they should follow you. So, for example, I serve B2B business owners, primarily B2B service business owners. How do I serve them? I write Twitter and LinkedIn content for them. to drive leads. Credibility, we've sold $8 million for clients through Twitter and LinkedIn. Why they should follow me? Because I'm going to talk about best practices for Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm going to talk about lead gen. I'm going to talk about personal branding. That's why they should follow me. So do the same thing for yourself to make it really clear why people should follow you. Next, your avatar. Okay, so if you write about morning routines, but your audience is B2B business owners, sure, it applies to them, but it also applies to everybody else. And it doesn't call out your avatar, who you're speaking to. And so whenever you're writing a piece of content, you want to have a couple of questions in mind, which I have right here. What is this about? So what is this piece about? Is it about morning routines? Is it about getting more leads? Is it about marketing funnels? Who is this thread for? Is it for B2B service owners? Is it for B2B SaaS owners? Is it for just people who are interested in creating content on LinkedIn? Write out who it's for, or at least think about who it's for, because if you're speaking to your mom versus you're speaking to your boss versus you're speaking to your virtual assistant, the way that you say things is very, very different. So just have an idea of who you're writing for. Next, what promise am I making? So whenever you're writing a long form piece of content, you make a promise, often in the hook, and you want to know that what promise you're making and then also how you'll fulfill on it. This just helps a lot with being clear with your content. Cool. Next, let's move on. So the content unit. This is another Alex Hormozi. He phrased it this way. He didn't invent this. This is just ubiquitous across marketers. But so there's 3 parts of a content unit. This applies to something as small as a tweet and as large as a YouTube video. So you have a hook, then you retain people, then you reward them. And so hooks are debatably the most important piece of content, because if you can't get people to click, you can't get people to read, you can't get people to watch for the very beginning, you just say see ya to the rest of the piece. So nailing the hook, we could do a whole video that's just on headlines and hooks and how to capture attention. But to keep it simple, it's usually you want to make a promise, you want to be clear about who it's for and what the benefit is to the person. And then you want to have some type of what we call a curiosity gap. So you don't give them the full answer. So for example, the beginning of this I said underrated strategy to get leads from X and LinkedIn. If I told you what the strategy was in the hook, you probably wouldn't click on it. Maybe you've noticed with a book, if like the entire thesis of the book is just in that title, and then you're like, man, I don't want to read that book because I feel like I already know what it's about. All right, next is retention. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to use this as an example. So I have 5 different pieces of content that we're going through. And so this is a list that I'm going through. There's 5 pieces. And we're on number 2 right now. And hopefully you want to stay because I'm doing a good job of explaining things. And you want to make it through all 5. So that's retention. Finally is rewarding. So is this an underrated strategy? I actually believe it is. If it's not, then I lied to you and you're not going to come back and re-watch any of my videos. But if I actually deliver and I say this is an underrated strategy, you agree and you try it and you get more leads, then I've rewarded you and you're going to want to come back. Cool. Next, blockbuster content. So I made an entire video on this. I'll link to it in the description. But this is the basic premise. One awesome piece of content or blockbuster piece of content is greater than 100 mediocre pieces. And so you might spend twice as long on a blockbuster piece, or maybe 3 times as long as one mediocre piece, but it can deliver 100 times the results. And so you're able to get a huge, huge return on your time if you just write a piece of content that's fantastic versus 100 mediocre pieces. And so there is something really important about just being consistent, getting stable hits again and again. Blockbuster pieces, they don't always go viral, they don't always crush it, but the chance that they do, the percent likelihood that they do is so much higher than just a regular piece. And so this is worth incorporating into your content strategy. Sometimes it just takes one blockbuster piece to set yourself apart, and then everything afterwards becomes easy. All right. Reach versus resonance. So I think the people who framed these words were Dickie Bush and Nicholas Cole, but the idea is very also ubiquitous or widely known. And so reach is if you write a piece of content that goes to just a lot of people. It applies to everyone. So an example of that would be, I've spent 100 hours studying marketing from all the greats. Here are the top 10 lessons I've learned in just 3 minutes. So this is a good hook. And who is it for? It's for anyone who's interested in marketing. Somebody who is a marketing student in college, somebody who runs a 8-figure business, someone who's just starting a business. It's applicable to anyone who's interested in marketing. And so that may be fine. Just get people who are interested in marketing in your funnel. But if you're selling like I am to 7, 8, 9-figure B2B service companies, then yeah, maybe I'll mix this in every once in a while. But the chances that those people read this are pretty low. So let's look at resonance, which is a little different. This is when you write for your specific target audience in mind and only for them. So good example would be, I helped a $2 million fractional CFO company add $50,000 in MRR in the past 90 days on X and LinkedIn. Here are the 7 steps we took. So who's this going to appeal to? Any fractional CFOs that are doing $1 to $3 million per year, I'm sure would be fascinated in reading this. I bet other fractional executives would be interested. Maybe some accounting firms would be interested. And guess what? Those are all in my ICP. So I'm totally cool with that. This is getting more specific. I promise this will get less likes. This will get less views, but it'll get more leads. So do you want to do reach? Do you want to do resonance? I think there's a good argument to be made for doing some of both. Next, trust. So trust, Stephen M. R. Covey has a book on trust called The Speed of Trust, and he talks about trust being character and competence. You have to be who you say you are, and then you have to be able to do what you say you can do. And so you want to have proof of character, which just by being consistently posting on a platform for a long time shows a lot about character. That you're able to be consistent, that you show up, that you deliver, that you give away things, that you give away value. So that's huge for showing proof of character. And then next is competence. It's like, if you're a designer, are you making websites every day? If so, screenshot those and post it and show what you're working on. If you're a writer, like I am, then I should be writing my own content and publishing it. Or I should be taking a screen recording and showing myself writing for a couple of hours, and it's all compressed in a minute and you can kind of see the end result. That's proving competence. Or if I'm talking about how I can generate leads for people, can I show proof? Can I show a screenshot that shows the leads coming in, the DMs that are coming in? Can I show a Stripe screenshot? Like whatever it is, just to prove the competence. Those are all applicable to me. If you're a fractional CFO, then maybe you do public breakdown of companies, and that proves your competence. If you're a recruiter, like you could figure this out in an infinite number of ways, but you want to build trust, because if you're selling something high ticket, the chances that people will just jump on a call with you who don't know you so much lower than if they know who you are and they know that you're legitimate. The other thing that helps a ton with trust is building lead magnets. So you can imagine if I try to get a rando on a call with me, it's like them jumping up 4 steps. It's like most people probably aren't going to do that. But if I have just a small 1-step thing that people can take, then a lot of people are going to take that 1 step, and it's going to build trust, and then they'll say, oh yeah, that 1 step was fine, it's sturdy, I can take another one. So that's where lead magnets come in. All right, content topics. So, all right, there's a lot of people out there that say, just get the topics that your service covers, create a bunch of frequently asked questions, ask ChatGPT, what are 50 frequently asked questions, and let's write a tweet or let's write a post to answer all of those. And I 100% agree that has value. Like, do that. That's what I call value posts. But if that's all you post, maybe that's good for middle of funnel. But if you want to get leads from your content, specifically from X and LinkedIn, you have to do more than that. So add storytelling where you start with a moment in time and you say, last Wednesday, I was talking to an employee and here's what they said. And you start telling a story about something that happened and you tie it into your niche, tie it into your industry, tie it into your service, tie it into a problem that your audience has, share lessons, share mistakes, share tips, use stories, because you're building a personal brand. And I promise if you just tweet generic value posts, it's not going to resonate for very long. Next, personality. It's like show some level of personality in your content. So this could be enemy-based marketing, where you go after some concept, some enemy that you don't like. It could be sharing some memes with your content. It could be making a joke. It could be talking about your favorite drink. I always share that I drink a white Monster most days. Things like that. That is just powerful for personal brands and for people to like and resonate with you. Lastly, pro tips. So LinkedIn, Twitter, the algorithms are always changing. And so easy way to stay up to date on what's working is you just find 5 people. That's all. 5 people who are crushing the platform, and you just keep an eye on them. You just go and look maybe once every other week, and you say, okay, are they doing anything different? And you just imitate the formats that are working best. And over time, these 5 people might change because some of them underperform. You find new people that are just crushing it. This is just the easiest way to stay on top of trends. Next, engagement. So posting alone often isn't enough, and you need to dedicate a little bit of time to engaging with other people who are in your industry, who have your target audience, who are ideal clients, just spending a little bit of time doing outbound and inbound commenting. There are other options. You can pay for engagement groups. They do exist out there, and a lot of people have positive results with them. I'm currently not using any, but I'm not particularly opposed to either. I know the platforms themselves aren't big fans of engagement groups, so you want to just be wary, but this is something that can work really well. Lastly, make your content easy to read. Please do this. Please do this. If you write a LinkedIn post or Twitter post like you write a book, I promise you people are not going to read it. And so the average American reader test is based on this idea that a 7th grade reading level is a little bit above the average American reading level, which means about 50% of people will not understand anything you write if you write above a 7th grade reading level. So I like to use, it's called Hemingway app, where you just test the reading level of what you write. And I like to write everything, and our agency, Tribe Digital, writes everything at a 4th grade reading level or below. And we eliminate all passive voice. So he hit the ball, not the ball was hit by him. The ball was hit by him is passive, he hit the ball is active. And so just simplifying the way that you speak is very, very helpful. All right, let's move on. Content, let's give it a little check mark. Let's give this a check mark too. Wow, that was a great check mark. There we go. Warm outreach. Let's get to it. All right, so warm outreach, very simply, is messaging people you know or who know you. And so there's 2 forms of warm outreach I want you to think of. There's new people, so the new people that you're meeting, the new people that are coming into your ecosystem, and then old people. So this is like the people who are in your phone in contacts, or in your email that you've emailed before, or Facebook friends, or Instagram followers, or Twitter followers, or LinkedIn followers that you've had for a long time. And we want to be able to leverage both of them. And so this is the underrated strategy. It's not content alone, and it's not warm outreach alone. It's doing both together. Okay, so let's come over here. Content plus warm outreach. So let me show you what we can do. LinkedIn, send 100 connection requests weekly. Get a list of your ideal audience. We could create another video talking about how to scrape a list, but get a list of 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people, and then just send 20 connection requests each day. You can do this personally. You could hire an assistant to do this. I personally have an assistant do this for me and for all of my clients. But this is the easiest way to get the right people into your ecosystem and see your content. And then every time I get a new connection, I go and look and I see, whether it's a connection or a follower, I go and see, is this person in my ideal client profile? If so, send a message. If not, don't send anything. Next, you can review your profile visits on LinkedIn. This is a premium feature, so if you pay for LinkedIn Premium, you can do this daily or you can do this weekly. And same thing, go look and see who visited your profile. If their bio looks like somebody who might buy your services, send them a message or send them a connection request, and then when they connect, send them a message. Next, you can see who liked your posts or left comments on both Twitter and on LinkedIn. This is an easy way to see who's engaging with your stuff and Are they people who look like your ideal client profile? Go send them a message. Very simple. All right, Twitter. This is all just low-hanging fruit, by the way. Like, very simple to do, very few people do it, and it yields massive results. So Twitter, you could do, this is just an easy way to get people to engage with you. Do a monthly giveaway. People like to follow people who are doing fun and cool things and marketing strategies. And so it could be your time, it could be a free lead magnet. So I said 5 free consulting sessions here. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's just a sales call. So maybe get creative here, but if you're, let's say that you help people buy companies, then you might say, here, I'll analyze 5 LOIs for you. Maybe that's not the right terminology. I'm not familiar enough with this space. I'll analyze 5 people's like potential prospects of companies that they're going to buy. And then you just get them to share some of the information with you, and you give all of your feedback, and you tell them why you're credible as well. Another easy way to get people to engage with you is asking questions. What is your favorite book? That always does well. Just different types of questions. Or doing just small gives like, hey, I have a couple of hours. It's Friday afternoon. Have a couple of hours. What is anyone interested in talking marketing? No pitch or no sell, I promise. Just drop me a DM with your phone number if you want to talk, and I'll give you a call. And then messaging relevant followers. So new and old, you get new followers, check them out. And then your old followers, this is huge for LinkedIn and for Twitter. If you can just scrape the list of all of your followers, which is easy to do with a tool like Phantom Buster, then I promise those people know you. So they're warm leads. And if you reach out to them, the chances they respond are just so much higher. I would recommend being highly personalized with warm outreach, because with cold outreach, you can just go volume. It's why you are supposed to send like 1,000 or 1,500 emails a day. With warm outreach, send 20 and just make them hyper personalized, and you'll get leads. All right, next, email. So definitely have a book a call CTA in your email newsletter if you're sending weekly newsletters. And in your welcome flow, make sure that you actually have a place where make it easy for people to do the next step and know why they should do it. Then if you have a lead magnet or an email course, then it's something that you can just make upgrades to over time. So you can either get leads from Twitter and LinkedIn directly. So you just push people to your core offer, and usually that's through a Calendly link where they book a call. Or you can give them some type of lead magnet. A lead magnet could be like a demo if you're a software company. It could be a calculator. It could be an email course. It could be a PDF. It could be any number of things. But you want to be able to say, if I send 100 people, I get 100 clicks to my lead magnet, then how many of those will end up clicking on the book a call button? And so then you can get a repeatable, for every 100 people that I send to this lead magnet, I'm going to get 2 sales, or I'm going to get a sell. And then it's just, okay, how many people can we shove into the front end of this lead magnet? And then also, it's probably worth mixing up and having let's do a direct book a call off like CTA, and then let's switch it with a lead magnet CTA. And then if you're not treating every email subscriber like they are an engaged lead, which guess what they are, then you're missing out on leads. So if you can keep an eye on the email subscribers you're getting from organic content, especially, that's usually even higher signal, then throw them into your CRM. And if you have an appointment setter, like have them go hit everybody up twice a week. Over time, you can get more automated with it, or you can create templates that your appointment setter can send, follow-up templates for people who are just coming into your ecosystem or people who didn't close on sales calls. But basically, treat these people, like try to get them on calls or try to get them on a webinar where you sell everybody every month all together. Treat them like engaged leads. All right, lastly, number 5, follow-ups. So this one's huge, but the truth is people are busy. They don't hate you. They just need reminders. If you can just follow up with people 1 to 2 times per week using a CRM and build efficiencies over time, this is huge. This is something that I struggle to do. I have a whiteboard over here, and I always put 2 times CRM follow-ups, because that drives so many leads, following up with old people just consistently. And it's hard to do and it's boring, but it just works. So that is everything. I hope that you agree with me. Let me give some check marks. Got to check these off. Boom, boom. I hope you agree with me that this is an underrated strategy to get leads from X and LinkedIn for B2B services, and best of luck with it. I'll drop a couple of videos that you can check out in the description. Cheers.